Evening, everyone. It's nice to be here. I'm always grateful for this opportunity to do these live streams and just communicate. And I've met some really lovely people along the way, and we've been able to have some great conversations. It's really important for me because I'm self isolating a lot, and I barely leave the house at the moment. So this is a really great way for me to connect. Um, what I often do is I start these streams with a chat about what I've just done in the last week, and I talk about my healing journey, what um, what things have worked, what hasn't worked, what difficulties I've been dealing with. So there has been a lot of post processing rumination, and it hasn't been um, detrimental or negative. It's been a necessary part of this last group of basic. How you going? Good to see you here. I wish you a nice day too. I hope you're having an awesome one. So what happened this week? Yeah, not that much, but enough. I did a mental health first aid course, which was 2-day course, and it was really good for me to do. It'll help me having this as a qualification for getting work when I get back into the workforce. And it's actually something I think everyone should do. It should just be made available for everyone. And so they've got different names for it in different countries. But essentially, the course was over 2 days, and they go through the common mental illnesses that require first aid. I'll get the first aid. Cool. I must have it here already. Yeah, here it is. So it's a pretty extensive book. It's well made. So this is made by the Australian Foundation, or it's called Mental Health First Aid Australia. And it's really interesting. At the start of each chapter, there's a painting, and each painting describes a certain condition or mental illness, and it describes what it's like. So this is anxiety. So this artist made this painting, and it's like how they describe anxiety to be like. And so it's an interesting thing that they've done. Psychosis. So you can see, and these are artworks that are made by people that have experienced firsthand these conditions or illnesses. So I'm going through this whole book, reading it cover to cover. I haven't done the examination part of the course yet. I've done the in-person practical 2-day course. So I'm waiting to get the email from them to do the exam. But I think I'll be fine with it. It's a really practical book. It's like any first aid book. How you going, Resonant Reflections? How you going, Kat? Good to see you both. We've got basic Basic Glitch, Resonant Reflections, and Kat here. It's awesome to see you. So yeah, everyone should do this course. If you live in Australia, find out, how you can do it. It was a little bit confronting for me and a little bit triggering because of what I went through like a year ago. So essentially, one of the main things about doing a mental health first aid course is you can learn skills to properly speak to someone who, definitely look it up, Resonant Reflections. And I got to do this course for free through Carers Queensland. So you might be able to somehow find an organisation that puts this on. Because it does cost about $400, I think. But it should be free for everyone because it's such an important thing. And it's like teaches you how to identify if someone's depressed or got anxiety or if someone's in psychosis or depression. I think I said that actually. So they have a way to deal with and approach someone, and I'll try and find the they got here. They call it algae. Right. So that's their main thing. Kat says seeing the symptoms of psychosis in the early stages would save a lot of people. It's hard to recognize. Absolutely, that's it. You could have someone could avoid being hospitalized and put on medication if they were able to be brought back down and in a safe way. Often this is what it teaches you is like not to say the wrong things because you can actually trigger, like if someone's on the verge of psychosis, you could actually push them into it by saying the wrong things. So and so especially for suicide, that's another big thing is recognizing when you're talking to someone, whether they're seriously considering it or whether it's something that they're just thinking about, and knowing how to make the person feel comfortable to because again it could be the worst thing. It could push someone in further. So it teaches you how to be safe yourself. Like if someone's on the edge of a somewhere dangerous, don't put yourself in danger. So and that's what this algae. So I'll read out what algae is. And that's their main sort of core action plan, which goes across all of the different things. So it applies to if you notice someone who's depressed or anxious or looks like they're about to, or in a psychotic episode, or looks like they're about to hurt themselves. A stands for approach the person, assess, and assist with any crisis. L stands for listen and communicate non-judgmentally. And that's very important, is that, you listen to what you listen, actively listen and don't apply judgment. And that really helps because you're not making the situation worse. You want them to be on your side. G stands for give support and information. So, if you see someone who looks depressed, you say, look, I'm here for you. I want to listen to you. I want to talk to you. I want to, you look distressed and I'm concerned. I don't want to make you feel uneasy about this, but if you do want to speak about this, I'm here to listen. And then if they do open up to you, then you can give them information. So you can say, look, call Black Dog or Beyond Blue or any of these organizations that will give you advice, like Lifeline or something like that. It could be as simple as, there's this great podcast I listen to, or this YouTube channel that's full of useful information for dealing with anxiety or depression or whatever it is the person has. E stands for encourage the person to get appropriate professional help, so that when you see someone in that situation, you say, look, have you gone to see your GP recently? Maybe you don't want to see a psychologist, but there are therapists, or there's helplines. Maybe, offer them that's that next level, appropriate. So that's an important thing. It says encourage the person to get appropriate professional help. So you got to assess the situation and then like point them in the right direction. You don't want to exacerbate the situation. So it's really about, by doing this course, each chapter has, at the end of each condition, like for instance psychosis, it talks about all the different mental illnesses that lead up to psychosis, risk factors, how to intervene, and then each chapter's got, at the end, it's got these are contacts. So it has like all the different organizations that you can suggest to people. So once you've read the book and got your certificate, you will hopefully have an idea of, pointing someone in the right direction and actually giving them that that effective support. And then the other E of the algae is encourage other supports. And so what they say about this algae, it's not, you don't do it in order. It's just whatever you spot, and you appropriately respond. So if someone is in serious danger, you don't like necessarily approach the person. You might call 000 straight away. So yeah, encourage other supports. That could be information about, like, why don't you join a men's shed or a gardening group or a community organization. Sky's here. How you going, Sky? It's awesome. We've got a whole bunch of people here. It's really cool. I'm talking about, I just did a mental health first aid course this week, and so I'm talking about the book at the moment, and everyone should do it. Like, try and find out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. How you going, Michaela? That's it, Sky. Yeah, good stuff, bro. It's a really good course. Everyone should do it. It should be free. It should be accessible. And it really helps. It will help so many people if the more people that do this course. And it's actually really good because having done this certificate, it'll help me with getting employment. So each businesses are putting people through this course so that they can then apply first aid. Sky, thanks for sharing. That's see, and Sky says she has strong BPD symptoms, and so you're aware of that yourself, and so you can help people by you're not afraid to disclose that, and so that is a really good thing for starters, is that you're putting yourself in a situation where you probably tell people around you and give them forewarning of this. And so in here it talks all about bipolar and bipolar 1 and 2, what to look for. And this is a big thing about psychosis, is it's mostly not dangerous. So it just destigmatizes the actual falsehoods that are often put on mental illness. And Michaela says, I don't know if your police take classes like this. It would be so helpful if police in the USA had this information. Could save many lives. That's it. I think they are starting to do this course. But when I was doing at the course, one of the women that were there doing the course, she said she actually did training for the police and that they only got a afternoon worth of training, which is just mind-boggling, because most of the call-outs that they have are for mental health issues. Someone's having a psychotic episode, or they're at risk for self-harm, or yeah. So yeah, they need more, definitely, and I think that it is growing, that this is, and so I'm really glad that I was able to do this course for free. And so each chapter, it's broken down into the conditions, and then at the end of each chapter it has relevant places to call. So once you know these places, you can say contact Lifeline, contact Beyond Blue, whatever it is, and substance abuse, another big aspect to it. So the main thing is here's the artwork for substance abuse, and it's like it's got the glass, and then the syringe and the drugs, and then it's got like smoke with the skull face. So it's really interesting how they got artists to try and portray what it's like, Gambling problems is a chapter. So yeah, back to that algae is, once you apply those things, that's the L. Listen and communicate non-judgmentally. So you don't, if you're not judging someone, they're going to be more open to talk to you. G, give support and information. So, you're talking to the person, you can say, look, you're not alone. It's not so bad. Look, we can do something about this. And that's when you can use the information that you've learned about. And it could be as simple as someone's got a PTSD symptoms. And so you can say, watch some Gabo Mate videos, or, point them to some YouTube videos or something like that. You could say, look, there's some really great mindfulness and grounding videos on YouTube, or Spotify's got podcasts, so it's amazing. Sky says, I feel a bit hopeless at the moment. I know that it's just momentarily. See, again, so that's awesome that you're able to be aware of your own situation, but you also understand that that's something that is part of BPD, is that you will have varying degrees of when you go into a state of the highs and the lows. And so, it's thank you for sharing, but yeah, symptoms, being aware of the symptoms is really good, and then you can actually let people know around you, and then they can actually give you feedback and say, look, oh yes, no, look, I remember when you were like this a month ago, and things worked out all right, but if you worried, then you can talk to someone and have the conversation yourself. So doing a mental health first aid course could actually be you yourself doing the mental health first aid on yourself, and then speaking to others and like asking for them to confirm your fears or suspicions. But it's all about safety, and yeah, it's great because destigmatizing, and how common you know how common it is for um, people to experience anxiety, depression, um, psychosis, um, and how they all interconnect. So you might have substance abuse and gambling and depression and anxiety, and so you might have to. It gets more complicated, but often it's not just one thing. How it says, approach, assess, assist with any crisis, listen non-judgmentally, give support and information. E, encourage appropriate professional help. E, encourage other supports. That's exactly it. That's the algae. Michaela says, thank you, Kat. It's such a good thing. And you don't have to do it in any order. Like you can do all of those things in one sort of go, or you could just pick, it could just be one thing, you know? So it's all about reading the situation, and they had some videos which they showed um, people expressing depression or anxiety and psychosis, and you're able to then talk about in the course. We talked about like who did it, who did the wrong things, who did the right things. Because it's so easy to say the wrong things. So listen um, with attentively without judgment, non-judging. That's a big thing, because if someone's in a frightened state, you can make things so much worse for them by putting judgment onto them, or it will create resistance. So if someone's got depression or anxiety, and you judge them for it, they're going to resist whatever suggestion you have to support it. And there's so many ways that people can get help. So it can be like if someone's saying, look, I've got anxiety, or you notice someone has symptoms of severe anxiety, and then you think about how you approach the person and have a conversation where it's not going to upset them and they'll feel comfortable, and then whatever things you suggest to them are more likely to be taken on, because they feel there's more trust involved. And I'm really glad I did this course, and I look forward to like completing the examination bit. Trying to find another one of these paintings. The one for psychosis was here. Look, depression. And so like It's called The Death Inside by Michelle Hosking. And it says, that feeling or non-feeling of deadness, unable to enjoy anything, unable to look forward to anything or feel happiness. You know? And it's pretty bleak. It sort of tells the picture of depression, doesn't it? Like there is a sun there, but it's like blocked out mostly by the clouds. It's only shining a little bit of light, and it's not shining the light down on the person. You know, there's a pile of rocks and you know, there's a snake there, you know, a bird cage. So it's a cage outside in a field, but the bird's still trapped in a cage. So it's pretty powerful stuff. And yeah, I'm glad I did it. So that's one book I'll finish cover to cover in the next week. In the last week, I completed reading 2 books, and I'm just bringing it up here. One of them was an audio book. So polyvagal safety. Sorry, it's not showing up. And this was an audio book, and I actually just booked it out again because I listened through it and I want to listen through it again. I would prefer actually reading this book, but if you haven't read any books on polyvagal theory, this is a good one. And this is written by Stephen Porges, who is the founder of polyvagal theory, and he's going to release a book soon in the next year, which I think will be even better. But this explains polyvagal theory quite well, as far as each chapter is. It's worth reading, especially there's in the middle of the book. I can't remember what chapter it is, but it basically is saying how polyvagal theory is essentially yoga, and it draws all the connections between it and shows how it's that people have been practicing this stuff for thousands of years already. So there's nothing new about it. It explains, because I've read 2 books now on polyvagal theory, and this one goes through a bit more of the history, like the biology of the nervous system and with mammals, and how they evolved to have this additional part of the nervous system, and how it works. So I'm going to do a full review. Like, I'm going to start doing book reviews now. Not necessarily today, but like I'm going to start doing them on the channel. And I'll try and keep reading the chat as we go too, because but yeah, Michaela says thank you, Kat, because Kat explained algae, which is awesome. Kat says super helpful info, good to know. You never know when you might need it. Exactly. Everyone should do this course. It should be something for everyone has opportunity to do, and it shouldn't be cost prohibitive. So there's a lot of Australians in the group here tonight. So like, find out through how you can possibly do this course. And if you can somehow do it for free, because I think it is about $400. Sky says, thank you for listening and understanding. That's a nice comment. Sky says, I'm okay with letting certain people know I feel this channel and the listener will understand a bit more than the average person. You're absolutely right there. Sky says, yeah, what was the course again? Sorry, I missed what you said. It's called MHFA, Mental Health First Aid. And so they've got a website, mentalhealthfirstaid.com.au. mhfa.com.au. Very important, and just being able to spot what it is the person's going through. Sky says, cheers, Luke. Yeah, check it out. See if you can see where you can do it. And I'm so glad that I did it. It was quite difficult because the first day I'd been up all night since like the day before, and so I was actually falling asleep by the end of the day. But then I got sleep, and Sky says I will, mate. Yeah, check it out. Yeah, I think it just should be free for everyone, and they have similar ones like this in America. I know Michaela's here. She's from USA, and it's got a different name, but it's essentially the same thing. But back to the books I was talking about, I just read that Polyvagal Safety, which is really good. So if you haven't read any books on polyvagal theory, it could be a good introduction. It doesn't have any practical stuff, but what it does is really go through chapter by chapter the neuroscience, the evolutionary history of the vagus nerve, and then it has specific chapters on how it is used. So how polyvagal theory can help people with Asperger's syndrome, autism, Asperger's. Treating people with trauma. So very interesting book, and I booked it out again from the library because I want to read it again. That's how good it is. And another book I read this week was my uncle gave me 2 books, and this is Mindfulness for Beginners. He gave me 2 mindfulness books, and they were gifted to me from his library. And this is a really great book. If you're into mindfulness, it comes with a CD at the back. So it comes with exercises to do. And so even in Pete Walker's book, he references this guy when he says, if you want to learn mindfulness, get this guy's book or books. He's written several. And so this John Kabat-Zinn, he is the guy who set up the mindfulness-based stress reduction clinic, and has been along with a lot of other people. But this is a really good book. It does come with practical exercises, but the beauty of it is it's sort of written. See how like each page there's each topic is just 1 or 2 pages. So it's like the book is actually it goes through the fundamentals of so many things to do with mindfulness, and it's a sort of book that I'll actually read. I'll read this book once a year, or twice a year, 3 times a year. I might just pick it up and open to any page and just read a bit. So, I mean, here I'll read one just to explain how it is, because it is like that. It's like a book that you can just pick up and read. It says, "You already belong," and then it has, the paraphrase at the top, and then the body. So it says, "When you undertake this practice with a group or other human beings very much like yourself, as in MBSR, which is mindful based stress reduction classes at a hospital, it becomes even more powerful because you can be inspired and motivated by other people's strengths and tenacity and insights, often manifested in the face of unimaginable life circumstances and difficulties." So, that's a great thing, because, the idea is they teach mindfulness as part of rehabilitation for cancer patients and treating people with depression and anxiety and stress. And then it goes on to say, yes, and even if you are by yourself, it turns out you are never by yourself, because this kind of inspiration is everywhere when you start to look around. Moreover, when you are meditating at home, you can know and take comfort and inspiration from the fact that there is literally millions of other people very much like yourself meditating at that very moment. You are whole and also part of a larger and larger circles of wholeness. You may not even know about it. You are never alone, and you already belong. You belong to humanity. You belong to life. You belong to this moment, to this breath. So that's just an example of, like, this book is just full of insights into the fundamentals, and then it sort of then goes into, at the end of the book, it has the exercises that are accompanied with the CD. So I haven't actually listened to the CD yet, but I've read the exercises, and they're really good. So the next, I also have another book by this guy I was given, which is Mindfulness for Treating Depression. And it's a really good book from what I looked at. So I look forward to reading that. But before I do that, I got these books from the library, and I've started this one, the Heal the Body and Heal the Mind. Sorry, Heal the Body, Heal the Mind, a somatic approach beyond moving beyond trauma. It's pretty good so far. I'm only up to chapter 3, but it's really well written, and it's a great, so far for me, a great introduction to somatic healing. One thing that I found very sort of triggering, in the first chapter, it goes through what is trauma and types of trauma. Yes, I'm just looking at the chat. Yeah, Michaela says CPI is what we have, crisis prevention intervention. That's exactly it. That's the equivalent you have in the States. Michaela also says, yeah, I've noticed that you say the letter H differently to what we do in America. I feel like your pronunciation is more accurate. H is how we say it. Yeah. It is, I don't know. Sometimes we say H and H, it's interesting. In the start of this book, so I'm not going to do a review of this book yet until I finish it, but so far it's really powerful, and I like the way it's written. it was pretty triggering because it goes through like checklists of like types of trauma. And okay, so yeah, like I went through. I'll read this bit. Like I'm sure I'm allowed to do this as far as copyright. This is for non-commercial purposes. And what triggered me was literally there's only a few things in this entire set of lists that I haven't experienced. So I was just like, yep, that, yep, yep, yep. So I'll read out like, it breaks it down. So childhood trauma, birth trauma could be caught around the neck, a breech birth or premature birth, physical abuse, emotional abuse, neglect, sexual abuse, molestation, incest, school violence, bullying by students, teachers, or other staff, abrupt separation, for example, abduction, kidnapping, parent suicide, death of close family member, placed in foster care or group homes, prolonged hospital stay, etc. Relationship trauma, domestic violence, including emotional, physical, sexual, and financial abuse by a partner, emotional manipulation, such as misrepresentation, lying, slandering, gaslighting, which in brackets says making someone feel as if his or her perceptions are completely off kilter and implying the person is crazy or delusional. Sudden loss of a loved one, such as by suicide, murder, or accident, etc. So you get the picture. Like it breaks down all the. So this would be a really powerful book for someone who hasn't experienced or hasn't already been on the journey and is sort of like trying to see what they can do. Yeah. So I'm reading this book at the moment. The other book I got out from the library is another somatic healing one, and so I have no idea about this one yet. So it's Somatic Mindfulness as a Path to Freedom. And I hope it's good. Michaela says, yeah, that was lovely. Thank you. I feel like I just got bingo. That's it. I think that was when I was reading out the list of like trauma. I'm still reading nonviolent communication, so that's because I'm doing the course with that. So that's what I'm currently reading at the moment. Sky says, I like how you wrote that, Michaela. That's it. That's it. She's got a good sense of humor. But so far, this book's really good, and it's got useful. These two books I picked because they were exercise self-help books that can teach you. I'll have both of these books finished by the end of the week. So I bought a bunch of books too recently, and I haven't actually started reading them yet because I wanted to read these ones first. Not much else has happened this week as far as I mean, I have had a difficult week. I didn't get much exercise. I keep making plans for myself to do more work, but it hasn't eventuated yet. And there's always next week. So what wins did I have last week? I did this course. I managed to, with all my anxiety and like not leaving the house for a couple of months, basically, I went to a very public place and was in a room full of people. And, I even shared that with everyone, how when they were talking about the anxiety, I said, I actually am suffering pretty major anxiety at the moment. And haven't left the house much for the last few months. And they all appreciated me opening up about that. And it was really interesting with the course was everyone had lived experience. So a lot of the people there everyone was carers, and a lot of them were caring for disabled siblings that had serious conditions. So it was, everyone could empathize and everyone had lived experience. So it was a really powerful thing to actually go through that. So I got that gastro and gourd. I get sore stomach every so often. It's not good. Yeah, Michaela says, thanks, Sky. Sky says, all good. Sky says, it's not just the immediate things I experience, but stuff I've watched. Yeah, that's interesting. The more aware you become of yourself and your surroundings, everything just opens up more and more, and then you become more aware. Sky says, my thoughts are with you, bro. Sky says, I was able to have a swim in a rock pool, awesome, and a swim at the beach today. So they're two things that, that's awesome. I haven't been to the beach, like I said in the last stream, for like 9 years. So that's on my list to go swimming in the next couple of months. I've got to go, and I'll probably go Sunny Coast actually, because I prefer that over the Gold Coast. It's a little bit further. Oh no, it's about the same where I live. And but we have some awesome swimming holes in the mountains, and I'll try and do that soon. I'll try and go swimming in a water hole soon. In fact, I'm going to do that this week. That's actually something I can do with my the fact that my caring rolls through the night now. I could like get up, or not get up. I could actually just stay awake and then go for a swim at a swimming hole at like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and no one will be there. So that's one thing I don't like about swimming holes, when there's like, you go there on a Saturday or something and there's just hundreds and hundreds of people. So Michaela says, what is a rock pool? Yeah, rock pools are like in a gorge or a creek or a river, where it's usually a gorge. So you got steep valley, and then lots of rocks and boulders, and a small stream, and those streams create like swimming holes, which are but rock pools also are at the ocean. So I got that confused. We also have rock pools, like in creeks as well, but rock pools are also at the ocean, where you've got rocks and they naturally create natural baths. So when the tide comes in, it fills it up, and then like when the tide goes out, it's like this natural swimming pool, and they get flushed out every day. but often octopus get stuck in them, and things like fish will get stuck in these rock pools. So like you do have to be careful in Australia. Stonefish, which are the fish that have got a spike, it can like poison you. You know, you got to be careful with rock pools, and because also uh, jellyfish, but mostly octopus get stuck there. And the octopus, we got the blue ring octopus, and they're the ones you got to look out for. They're tiny, but they're amazing creatures. Sky says, yeah, to Michaela. Basic Glitch says, wow, cool. Yeah, I think that's to do with the rock pools and all that. Michaela says, I have to look that up. I live next to the Mississippi River, but it's deep here, and there are no dry areas. Oh, that's it. So your river is just like huge. So you probably go tubing and stuff like that where you live, you know, or that sort of stuff. Boats and kayaks and canoes and things. Whereas in Australia, a lot of our creeks are not usable for kayaks or canoes because they just dry up and like you're dragging it. But we'll have rock pools in creeks where like there might not be a flow of water, but you're able to swim still. Yeah, Michaela's looked it up. Yeah. So she said the images online are beautiful. Sky says, yeah, they're great. Michaela says, sounds beautiful. Yeah, you have the scariest wildlife. We do have some scary wildlife. I was telling Michaela the other day how I'd been chased by so many snakes in my life. And there was some scary experiences. I've been chased by 4 of the most dangerous ones, but I've never got bitten. So it's one of those things. I mean, I'll walk bare feet in the bush and stuff, and not be too afraid. Basically, it says, "Wow, whole new world. Rock pools sounds awesome." Well, that's it. Like you're in Czechia, and I know you have beautiful creeks and rivers in Czechia, but you don't have the ocean, so you miss out on that stuff. Um, and I got to explore. I used to play video games for many years back in the past. And I stopped playing video games in 2010. And Portal 2 was the last video game I played, you know, one of my favorite games ever. And I noticed you had some Portal stuff on your YouTube page, basically. So, you know, that's why I brought it up. But also, then a few years ago, I thought, oh, I haven't played video games for so long, like 10 years. And there's this great role playing game. So I got halfway through Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is set in Czechoslovakia. And so I got to explore what it's like. And it's a beautiful environment. I didn't take my reflux tablets today, so I've got pain from it now. I've got to get onto that. I need to get a new script. It's amazing how much it works. You know, it just balances out your acid in your stomach. Kat says, yeah, we get blue ring octopus in rock pools in Adelaide. They're beautiful, aren't they, Kat? But they're the ones that can like sting you. So you got to be careful of blue ring. But they're so intricate and they're like tiny. They can be these tiny little, but they can grow up to a decent size. But they're not like the giant octopus. They're like a miniature octopus, and they're really beautiful. Like they're ivory white, and they've got these blue rings all over them. Michaela says, yeah, I did as a child, no longer get in the river. So like used to do tubing and kayaking and boats and things. That's awesome. Sky says in Adelaide, wow. Yeah, that's it, because the ocean's pretty cold down there. I didn't know like whether octopus were able like yeah, I'm for instance, we don't have seals in Queensland because it's too warm. So it's it's all different. The ocean's different. Sharks, we get different sharks to other places because of the temperature. Um, Michaela says, "Did you just say you walk barefoot in the bush?" Yes, I do. Yeah, and um, I'm more scared of walking through long grass. Like I get petrified when I'm walking through long grass because you can't see much. But if I can see the trail, I'm happy to walk barefoot. Um, the worst thing for me was like a month or so ago. I went and watched the sunset, and I was wearing a short sleeve shirt, and I was sitting in the grass. And I came home, and I was just covered in bites and scratching, and like for a month, I had like all of these blood. Like I'd scratched so much, like I had blood all over my arms from these sores. So there's so many different things. They were like little mites or something that bit me. Kat says, yeah, West Lakes is known for its blue rings, which is a shame as it'd be lovely to swim there. Yeah, that's it. So they are pretty blue ring octopus can be pretty scary. Um, we've got bull sharks in Queensland, which are scary. They just they're like scavenger sharks, so they swim up the rivers and um, they they are responsible for more deaths than any other shark. Bull sharks are, and they're only small. Bull sharks are tiny, but they'll just rip you to shreds. Michaela says, I only learned this last year, but octopus have a beak and it still doesn't make sense to my brain. Yeah, they do. Hey, it's like a parrot shaped beak, and I think they use that to chomp the shells. Like it's really strong. It's a really strong beak. Basically, it says, "Thank you. I like to hear about your nature and SL life." That's it. Um, Sky says, "I walk barefoot heaps everywhere. It's good to do. It's good for your it's good for your body because you're grounding yourself. Um, there's places where you shouldn't. You know, um, one thing with snakes is like they won't bite you on the foot; they'll bite you on the leg. So you're better off wearing long pants. So basically, it says, "Sorry, I wanted to. I wasn't. I was not edited text. It's sent self mid editing. Point is cool. That's cool. No judgment. Like um, the I do that myself with writing text and stuff, and the autocomplete. It I'll send something and then I'll read it back and I'll go, what did that actually say? Sky says, yeah, bull sharks are no joke. They totally aren't. My favorite hammerhead. I'll show you. I've got an awesome. Oh, here it is. I don't have much jewelry, right? But this is a ring which I got for my 30th birthday from my mum. Got made for me from like a jeweler that we know. So I'll put it on now. And it's like that's a star sapphire. So I wear that when I feel like I want to wear something nice. And this is I used to wear this around my neck for like years, like 10 years almost straight. And I got this. This is gold mother of pearl. It's a hammerhead shark. I don't know if I've shown this on the channel before or not, but look how good is that? Look at the iridescence of it. And so this is made by an indigenous person lives up in the, that's the belly. So you can totally see it's like I've got to make a new chain for it. It's usually leather and the leather wears out and I've got to make a new one. So I will, but I love this. Beautiful. I just love how it looks like a real, see the shine? Yeah. Hammerhead sharks are amazing. They're they call them like protectors of the ocean. Where am I? Yeah, Sky said, Kat says, yeah, we got blue rings. Sky says, no, it's okay if you're aware, Michaela. Michaela says, I did as a child and I'll no longer get into the river. It's really dirty. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The river's dirty. I thought it'd be nice and clean up there, but I guess it's such a big river. It's, Sky says, in Adelaide now. Kat says, yeah, West Lakes is known for its blue rings. It's a shame. It'd be lovely to swim there. Michaela says, I only learned this last year, but octopus have a beak. Yeah, I've read that one actually. I'm just catching up. Sky says, yeah, bull sharks, no joke. Yeah, I said that. I was talking about. That's when I got distracted and I showed the. Michaela says, yeah, platypus also make no sense. Platypus are pretty cool. Like, we used to have platypus that lived in this suburb, which is right on the edge of a city. And I think there might still be one or two around. They're pretty cool. And I remember seeing them. Was at Carnarvon Gorge, and like they can be pretty massive, you know. Sky says, yeah, true, Michaela, but they are cute. Yeah. They don't make any sense, but they are so cute. They are like they lay eggs and um they got a beak and they're like beavers a little bit. They don't make dams like beavers, but they dig hollows underneath the riverbank. They're pretty awesome creatures. And so like when big floods come, the water level will rise, but like the I'll draw it. So you got like that's the creek, and like this might be where the water is normally, and then under the water line, that's where you've got like the platypus. That's where the platypus live, in this little thing there like that. So the platypus swim down in underneath into it, and so when the water, when it floods, it floods, and as long as the pressure is not so much that it squishes out, they can stay in their safe place for ages, and then wait for the flood water to recede before they leave. It's funny. Everyone left when I went and showed my jewelry. I hope that didn't scare everyone off. But no, people had stuff to do. But you know, it's nice having these chats. You know. Yeah, nature is just an amazing thing. I need to spend more time in it. We've got baby currawongs up in the tree at the moment, and there's 2 babies in the tree, and they feeding them, and they're at the point where they're leaving the nest, and like they're exploring outside, which is cool. Michaela says that's beautiful. I'd say I'm guessing that's like the hammerhead shark I used to have. So, Michaela says, yeah, I didn't realize they were that big. Yeah, I think with platypus, like they can get quite large. Like the beak itself can be like huge, and they got claws, and they got like this extra claw, which has got poison. That's how like they catch bigger stuff. But yeah, like they hunt fish and crayfish and all different stuff. Michaela says, yeah, it's like someone spliced a duck, a beaver, and voila, we have the platypus. That's it. It's pretty amazing. So there's with Australia, we had this Wallace. I think it's the Wallace line. Sky says platypus are just misunderstood beavers. Michaela says, lol, back to Sky. That's classic. They're just that is hilarious. They are really cool creatures. You know, and they've been around for so long. They're monotreme or something. I think that's what they call them. They've got their own species genus. They're so rare, you know. So that's what I love about these chats. We talk about all different stuff. And often it's nature. We talk about the beauty of nature and how cool stuff is. We've got the I'll have to get some photos of it, but we've got like the eucalypt trees, and the bark is, like Michaela was talking the other day about the autumn, like deciduous trees. So what we have in Australia is the eucalyptus trees always drop their leaves, like all year round, and sometimes there is certain bursts of when they'll drop leaves, but we get the bark shedding. So eucalyptus trees will shed all their bark. That'll all peel off and then fall at a particular time. So that's something that happens instead of the, what's the name? One thing that, speaking of, how I showed some of my jewelry. I wear this band. I got it from the Blue Knot Foundation, and the Foundation for Complex Trauma, and they have their fundraising day on the 31st of this month. So if anyone's got any spare money, donate to them. I know I'm going to donate a little bit of money. But yeah, I wear this to remind myself of my healing. And it's their special day on the 31st of this month. And I don't know, I feel like I want to call up a few businesses on the day and just say, I've got nothing to do with this foundation, but you should donate to them. It's their special day. Get some money out, because they provide free counselling support for people with complex trauma, and they've saved me in this last year. So that's why I wear this. And every time I see it, it reminds me of them, of the help they've given me. Eucalyptus smells so good. Yeah, it does, Michaela. It is the best smell. Like, you get eucalyptus and crush up the leaves and smell the leaves, and it's just like fresh. And the other thing too, it's like the smoking ceremony that the Indigenous people do, and we can all do it. Like it, but it is sacred to the Aboriginals that they take the green leaves that have come off the eucalyptus, like you get branches, and they smother them. They put them on a fire that's not burning, so they smoke, and it is the most cleansing thing. So like they'll look it up on YouTube, smoking ceremonies, Indigenous smoking ceremonies. It's really powerful, and you breathe in the smoke, and it's like because it's not burning it, you're not getting, like, you are getting smoke, but you're not getting full on smoke, and you're getting all the aromatherapy, you're getting all the essential oils and stuff. It's beautiful. It's really good to do. I like starting fire in the fire pit with green leaves, because that's the other thing with eucalyptus. Like there's certain eucalyptus that the green leaves they catch fire. That's why we have such strong bushfires here, because of the eucalyptus. They're flammable in that sense. Sky says, I used to be a werewolf, but I'm all right now. guy says, I love the smell of fresh lime. Fresh lime is pretty awesome. Like the actual lime itself, like you don't have to cut it up, just the actual lime. But also like fresh lime is pretty awesome. Sky says, Michaela's got like, I can't even see what that emoji is, but it's like a squished up face or a sun. But yeah, Sky says, I'm trying for laughs. I have a silly joke. Okay, here we go. Sky's got a silly joke. You gotta continue the joke, Sky. Now you've started it. 2 elephants fall off a cliff. Boom, boom. That is funny. That is funny. That is good. Michaela says, it was full moon for Sky's werewolf. Yeah, that's it. It was full moon just the other day, and the I got to watch a bit of it, which was nice. Sky says nice to Michaela. We're having a nice, just gentle chat tonight. Like I didn't know, like that stream I did yesterday was pretty heavy. Don't expect everyone to watch it. It's very therapeutic for me to actually go through that stuff, and I've been thinking about it a lot. It was very powerful for me to do, which made and oh, that emoji's the moon, says Michaela. Yeah, now it makes sense. Sky says, "Can I tell my favorite yet potentially dodgy joke? Go right ahead. Like I want to hear it." All jokes are potentially dodgy. So Sky's typing in a joke right now. Yeah, it was nice to like go through talking about the mental health first aid and the books I'm reading. We're waiting for your joke, Sky. Come on, keep typing. Quick. I hope you haven't. No, you're still here. I hope you haven't dropped out. Now I've got to think of a joke. It's funny. Like I I don't really remember jokes, but I make jokes, sort of thing. Like when I notice stuff, I'll point it out, and makes people laugh sometimes. And there was periods of my life where I was very silly, like, and I went with it all, and like I made jokes all the time, and it worked. Like people would be laughing, hilariously laughing, and I sort of stopped doing that. Um, One thing I've noticed with like these live stream chats is we do have fun having jokes and things like that. So that's good. I do enjoy that. So Sky said she's going to tell us a joke, and Hopefully she's typing the joke out right now because here we go. I know Michaela's got one. Hopefully it's a joke. Here we go. Michaela's got a joke. A mushroom walks into a bar. This is awesome. The bartender says, "You have to leave. We don't serve your kind." Uh, the mushroom replies, "Oh, come on, I'm a fun guy." Classic. Sky says Sky is a guy. I didn't know that. See, look, I never knew that. I thought um, I keep getting people's genders mixed up because I don't ask them when I first meet them, and then I don't I don't presume, but then and I've gotten it wrong a few times. So Sky is a guy. See, I never like I presumed you were female, Sky, for some reason, and now I know that I won't get it wrong. Oh, so wait, let me get this correct. Wait, now I'm confused. Now I'm confused. Michaela says, when Sky said bro, Michaela says, I thought you were a guy. Sky said, what did you think of the dodgy joke? Exactly, Michaela. He. Yeah, I'm confused too. Because I always, wait, yeah. Michaela says, yeah, I'm confused. I don't call men bro. So I thought Sky was a guy the whole time. Yeah, no, and I thought Sky was a female the whole time. Now I'm really confused. I need to ask these questions of people because then I get self-conscious too. I had yeah, because it's one of those things you don't like ask necessarily. Exactly, Michaela says it doesn't matter either way, Sky. Sky says I have lovely legs though, so whatever. But that's um I presumed, Sky, that you were female because that um that's a feminine name, but Sky is also an acronym. So now it makes sense. Michaela's got the dancing woman the, with the legs emoji. What other jokes can we think of? I can't think of a joke right now. Um, that's the thing. I'm more so like observational humor. When I see something, I'll point it out and it's funny. But I don't remember jokes. So yeah, Sky says my dodgy joke is up a little in the text. Check it out. That's it? Sky is a guy. Kat's back. Well, maybe she's been here the whole time. She's got a joke. And then I'll catch back up. Kat says, "What do you get when you cross a kangaroo and a sheep?" I don't know. What do you get when you cross a kangaroo and a sheep? That's interesting. A woolly jumper. That says classic dad joke. Oh, that is classic, but it's a good one. I'm gonna remember that one. That is the best. That's actually really witty and smart. What do you get when you cross a kangaroo with a sheep? A woolly jumper. That is so awesome. And I skipped there because I saw there was the joke from Kat, and then so before that, Michaela says, "Tell me how you guys perceive our hot mess of a political system." Because Michaela's in the States. Well, I tell you what, Michaela, we get like American politics. When you have elections in Australia, we get news about it for like 2 years straight. It's all they talk about on the news is the American elections. So we know all about it, and it's everywhere. It's a bit of it is it's it's some people. I'm jaded and apathetic and apolitical, so I I am very cynical towards the political system, and I have a lot of disillusionment. Um, but I do see like it's necessary, and our political system here in Australia is just as how like in America senators are basically paid off by lobbyists. So there's like sort of this corruption thing where it's all like, and the other thing happens here is what happens in the States. People that work in like government, they resign and then they go work for a mining company or a like weapons company or something like that. Like they get all like there's all this sort of and the other thing that happens in America that happens here too is politicians invest in companies like insider trading. They invest in companies because they got this information in the government, and so they put $1 million into this company. That's like Nancy Pelosi's worth so much money because she's heard all this information over the years and then invested in stuff. And it's not just Democrats, Republicans. They all do it. Um, that's my opinion, and my opinion is like I'm sort of in the middle, as I think um, it's necessary, and we should hold politicians to account. But at the same time, there's a lot of disillusionment because like they lie to us all the time, and they look down on the general population, sort of thing. Some of them, they don't connect. There's no connection. Um, Sixth Sense is here. How you going, Sixth Sense? Good to have you here tonight. Um, Sixth Sense says, "Kia ora, Luke and chat room." Well, kia ora, Sixth Sense, Amelia. Sky says, my perception is that Trump is very strange, and so is Harris. They all have their own agendas. Yeah, that's it. I think you're damned with either of them, really. That's a disillusionment right there. Is that you'll be like, what, you can't win because they're all. Um, you know. MJG's here. How you going, MJG? And this is, oh, we've got to clear this up, MJG. I this is what I was talking about before. I would always make mistakes on this channel where I wouldn't know necessarily if someone was male or female, and sometimes I would like get it wrong, and then at the end of the last time we had a chat, MJG, how you going? Like I see MJG says hi Luke and hi all with a big heart. I always call you brother, and then I never actually asked whether you're male or female. I presumed you're male for some reason. So it is nice if people can, like, you don't have to tell us your gender, but like, you know, I kept saying brother, and then I remember in the last chat you wrote sister, and I'm like, whoa, did I get this wrong all this time? So yeah, but MJG, you're a legend. I'll tell you what. Thank you for being my friend, along with everyone else here. But MJG thought it was funny that the last bit of conversation and the joke. Oh, it was fun to say sister. That's nice. So, but that still doesn't clear it up, like, because because I always presumed you were male, and I don't even know yet, like, and I've had that before where I had someone and like I kept calling them brother, and they said I'm female, and that was after ages. I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know. Yeah. So I feel bad when I get things wrong. Sky says my joke is further up for Luke, straight under the where I ask, can I tell the dodgy joke? Yeah, so I'll scroll back. I've scrolled up, Sky, and it says, can I tell my favorite yet potentially dodgy joke? Question mark. Oh, I get it now. Sky says Sky is a guy. That's the joke. Because when you say Sky, you say Sky. The K sounds like a G. That's what I'm guessing. But I love it. It's good. What other jokes can we think of? I always go to a blank when I try and think of a joke. That's another problem I have. Michaela says, I'm so sorry. And I think that's in referral to the political system. But our political system here is just as messed up and funny and all that. I've got to go do a toilet break. So I'm going to do it as quick as I can, and I'll be back in a second. Everyone think of like some funny jokes. I'm trying to think of one. without like searching up on the internet to try and cheat. I've got to try and think of a joke. I can't think of one. I can't think of a joke. See, I go to a blank when it comes to that. But I think I got Sky's one. Sky is a guy. Michaela says, yeah, we hate it. We have to vote in a week. So it's everywhere. Several things in the mail, daily ads, constantly. We just had our election in Queensland. And it's going to change Parliament. So Sky says, yeah, our politicians are the best money we'll buy. That's a good joke right there. They totally are. Like, they do get bought out. Michaela says, I see, yes. Michaela says they should not be allowed to profit from the sales of weapons. Totally. Sky says, hi to 6 Cents and MJG. Six Cents Amelia says, hello, Luke. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Amelia. It was nice. It's always nice to see you. We're trying to think of jokes now. Can you think of a Kiwi joke? There's got to be some Kiwis. New Zealanders have got great sense of humor. You know, yeah, it's. Michaela says, I like to say it's the right and left wing of the same corrupt bird. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You know. 6 Cents Amelia says, hi, hello, Sky. And MJG says, hi, Luke, and all with the big heart, green heart. Sky says, don't misgender me, bro. Kidding. Don't take the offense. That's it. But it's so difficult because I get it wrong if I don't know. You know, I'm a male, but I've got like man boobs, so I've got like half. But that's offensive to women because they've got breasts, which is like sacred and it's their part of their body. So I don't mean to make fun of that. But saying that, going back to like in this book, that's one of the abuses, like in the list of trauma. Because when I went through puberty and I started growing breasts, everyone used to come up and pinch my nipples and they used to grab me, and it was traumatic. This happened for several years, grade 8, 9, 10, and eventually stopped. But it was really traumatic because everyone used to do it. Mostly blokes would do it, but I had women do it to me as well. So very traumatic. You're walking along and someone comes up to you and grabs you on the breast. Could you, like, it's not okay. It's not okay. Like, if that happened to a woman, she would like be like severely traumatized, and it was traumatic for me. But because I'm a bloke, it was like I had to just take it. And maybe it toughened me up in some ways, but it was really upsetting in other ways. So it just added to my negative self-body image, which I don't care about anymore. I'm not afraid. Like, it's just part of me. I got man boobs. When I got fit a few years ago, and I had these pecs, and they were big, and they were so big it looked like you didn't have man boobs at all. And whenever you're different, people pick on it. Hey, it's a really sad aspect that with growing up, people do that. And where am I? We are. Cat says with the big hands, couple of hands. It's like, don't misgender me, bro, says Sky. I don't take offense. Six Sense Amelia says hello, MJG. Six Sense Amelia says hi, Cat. MJG says it was fun to say sister. Yeah, nice. Thank you. So but that still hasn't cleared it up. And then that's why you say it stay a secret. So MJG's keeping it a secret. That's fair enough. It's your personal private thing. You don't have to tell us. Sky says, why did the Scarecrow get so many awards? It was outstanding in its field. That is funny. That is really, that is good. That's like a dad joke, but it was a really clever, witty one. Six Sense Amelia says, g'day, Michaela. And that's it. I'm catching up. MJG saying, yes, it stays secret. Michaela says, hi, Amelia. Sky says, why didn't I buy meat at the local butcher's? The steak were too high. Oh, the steaks were too high. That's also like a dad joke, isn't it? Michaela says, if anyone has any burning questions about America, I'm here for your pleasure. Well, I'm trying to think of one, but I'm interested to know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. It's like it could just fizzle out, or it could be like dangerous, or No one really knows what's going to happen, you know? It's really interesting. Anyone's got a question for Michaela about America? Think about it. Sky says, no, the joke is further up. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'll go further up. Okay. What I'll do, Sky, is I'll catch up with the chat. So I'm caught up with the chat, and then I'll do some deep searching and I'll find the joke. Michaela says, where's everyone from? Michaela says, I live in Wisconsin, USA. Six Cents Amelia says, New Zealand. Sky says to Michaela, how bad is stuff over there? I'm getting a sense that America is rapidly going downhill. I've noticed a lot of degradation in a lot of things in America. Too. That I don't know. It seems like there's places where the roads are all falling apart and no money's getting spent on things. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not there, so I can't really judge on it. So Michaela will answer that, I'm sure. Sky says, I'll just re-say my dodgy joke now. Okay, awesome. Emin Bells is here. How you going, Emin Bells? Haven't seen you for a while. It's good to see you here. We're telling jokes. We're working out jokes. I got a joke. Me. I make fun of myself. I'm self-deprecating. So often the joke is me, and I make the joke myself. But it wasn't funny. So I shouldn't make that joke. And I should have self-care and self-compassion and self-worth. So, but still, it's okay to make fun of yourself. It shows humility, but you shouldn't do it too much because that's actually, you know. And I've talked about this. Like I would make fun of myself to prevent bullies from making fun of me. So it was a tactic I learned growing up. So I'd act really stupid, and it would dumbfound the bullies. So I'd be like, I can't even do it. I can't, like narcissists and stuff. Like they'd be like, I can't do anything. This guy's just making fun of himself. Like I can't make fun of him now. So it was my way of like beating the bullies by like making fun of myself, and it worked a lot of the time. But then you get jaded because you're like, but Emin Bells is here. It's awesome to see you. Emin Bell says hello, everyone. Six Cents Amelia says hello, Em. Michaela says wait, where we are. Michaela says to Sky, yeah, we're actively fighting fascism. It is pretty scary. Emin Bell says, yeah, I'm in a small city called Basel in Switzerland. MJG says, hello, Bells, with a big smiley face and the bell. MJG has got like the Netherlands flag and then says, yes, the Netherlands. Sky says, that's no bueno, Michaela. It is no bueno. Sky says, Cankles are in fashion. Cankles are in fashion. I'm wondering, is that the joke? Because it is sort of ankles. Is that like ankles with cans? Michaela says Sky, no. Michaela says lol. So she got it, but I'm a little bit lost. Sky says, "How are you doing with it all?" To Michaela, yeah, like it must be worrying. You know, we just had our state election here, and it's really different. Um, Sky says, "M boobs, moobs." Me too. Yeah, so that's you understand what I'm talking about with the man boobs. Um, Michaela says, "Yeah, I'm good. I avoid in the news as much as possible. I live in a very small area, so not there is not much drama. That's nice to be in the country like that, you know." Sky says, "Good, Michaela. How do you get into this Aussie chat?" That's nice. Michaela says, "Luke's channel was recommended to me." That is nice. The algorithm. It's good when the algorithm works and we all find each other. So that's awesome. Sky says, "Okay." And then Em and Bell says, "It doesn't matter where you grew up. Once you're truly awake, you just admit the system is fucked and who built it up," with the like emoji. And then you can look at it 1,000 times till you see it for the first time. That's a really good comment because that's how it is. Hey, like you look over it over and over, and you still. This guy says, "Are you still big in the US, Michaela?" And Bell says, "The last one is a quote, not my words, but I don't remember who said it." It's a good quote, you know. I'll use it. I'll say that one again because it's something I've done. You look at it and you look at it, like each time you see more and more of how bad it is, and then eventually you just get jaded because you're just like it's all bullshit, bollocks, you know. So that's when you just got to like not worry about stuff and enjoy your own life and do your own thing. Sky says I'm Australian. Michaela says, I mean, I love my home, but I'm not thrilled with how things have evolved in my lifetime. Yeah, I wish Australia went in a better direction. Like we had opportunity to really um, do things in a better way, but it sort of things got diverted and we lost focus and attention on what really mattered. I guess it's very similar to like the States in that way. Lots of potential, but it failed. MJG says, "Yeah, agree, Bells." That was a really good quote. Emma Bells had. Um, Michaela says, "I know." Noah's here. How you going, Noah? Good to see you here. Um, Sky says, "I'm just happy to talk with you, Michaela." Michaela says, I see how smart and capable the kids are, and have faith that they're going to turn things around. That is good to know that there is that. That is really good because you got to have hope and faith in the future. But yeah, Noah's here. I hope she's still here. Sky says, about 30 years ago, I remembered thinking how truly gifted and smart American people were. Yeah. I mean, think about everything that's like created that's come out of America. It's pretty wild. Michaela says, yeah, well, I would have been in my late teens, and that's accurate. Michaela says with the emoji of the TV grin. Michaela says, some of us are gifted and some of us are mouth breathers. It's all balance out. Sky says, you're smart and kind. Michaela, I'm smart. Michaela says, thank you. Sky says, my IQ is about 3% of the total bar graph algorithm. I've never done an IQ test, a proper one. I wonder what my IQ would be. Probably not that high. Sky says intelligence is co-opted anyway. That is true. But we're thinking of jokes, and I can't think of any. Kala says, yes, there are various kinds of intelligence. There's social intelligence, emotional intelligence. Evan Bell says, guys, last week I had to call the police because my neighbor was beating up his wife, and now I'm so afraid of revenge of him. Have you had similar experiences? I am spinning. I've had a similar sort of one. Where, it was sort of scary. I'm still a little bit shook up by it when I think about it. I think I did the right thing. So what happened was my neighbor basically contacted me and said, I'm really worried. Can you come over and help settle this down? And then I went there and I said, do I have to call the police? And the guy said, no, you don't. And she was like scared in the background like that. And I was like, well, I said, I don't feel right leaving now. And he says, I want you to leave. And I was like, okay, well, what do I do here in this situation? Because you're telling me I should go, and you're telling me also that everything's going to be okay. And then I still seeing the woman like scared and shaking her head. And then he said, look, nothing's going to happen. It's okay. Just go home. And I went home. and I saw the look on her face, like she was still worried, and I felt like I'd betrayed her because I didn't. But then I literally lived. I stayed there for a couple of hours, and it was silent, and then I went back and spoke to him afterwards, and it was okay. So I did feel really scared and guilty that I'd done the wrong thing, because I he said, just go home, I'm not going to do anything. So I sort of trusted him, and then I saw her being afraid, and then I was really worried because I could see how upset she was, and I thought I'd made the wrong decision. Like, I was like, I did say to him, I said, look, I need to call the police over this because I'm being asked. This is serious. What do I do? He's like, he just said, kept saying, just go home now. Nothing's going to happen. And yeah, she did come to me afterwards and said, look, it's okay. Nothing happened. Thank you for your concern. And she said, I understand how difficult it was, but I still feel like I failed. But see, if I'd actually called the police in that situation, um, it might have made it worse. But I asked him, I said, have you been violent towards her? And he said, no, I haven't touched her. And I said to her, has he been violent towards you? No. So I felt comfortable that I didn't. I was stuck in the middle of this fight, and I didn't know what to do. So I felt really scared and shitty. But I basically spent 3 hours next, like as close to the edge of the slightest sound, I was going to run back over there. That was a really scary experience, and I do feel bad because I'd done the thing where I'd like, she asked for help, and I went to help, and then he told me to go home, that there's nothing's going to happen. And I didn't know what to do. I did stay there for about 5 minutes talking. I just kept saying, well, she's upset. What do I do here? He said, don't do anything, just go home. And I said, can you assure me that nothing's going to happen? He said, nothing's going to happen, just go home. So in that situation, I think the fact that I didn't escalate it made it safer. And she did come to me, not the next day. I can't remember if it was the next day or a few days later, but she said, thank you for what you did, you know. But I still feel bad because I walked away, and she was worried, and was he was telling me to go, and I said, I'll leave, but I need to know that she's safe. Nothing's going to happen. He said nothing's going to happen. And then I look over at her, and she's petrified and scared, and I'm like, well, what do I do? Do I give this person? He told me he's not going to hurt her, so I should give him the respect that he isn't going to, and then go home. And then I was petrified because I was like, well, what if I just went home and then he beat her up? And she called me to help her. And I didn't do anything. So I felt like an absolute piece of crap because I didn't do the right thing. But then she came to me and said, "Look, thank you for what you did." And he didn't do anything. So I still don't know how to deal with that because I feel like I failed her. But then she came to me and said, "Thank you." So um, it was really uncomfortable situation. I just said, "Look, do I need to call the police right now?" He goes, "No, you need to leave." I said, "Yeah, but I can't really leave until I know that she's not going to be hurt." That was a very. I'm so glad that it turned out the way it did. If something had happened to her, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself for doing that. But I gave him the benefit that he said to me he wasn't going to do anything, and then basically spent 3 hours or so listening for the slightest sound, and I was going to run over. Very uncomfortable situation. That really just, yeah, I'm a bit shocked by that because all it could have been was the wrong thing, and I walked away from it, and then I would have regretted it for the rest of my life. But sometimes, I guess, in conflict resolution, is if he looked me in the eye and said, "I'm not going to do anything. I want you to leave. Go home now." So, in my thought was, if I stayed there any longer, that could exacerbate it, and to have some trust in that. And it turned out that it was okay, but it could have easily not been okay, and I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. On the other side, if I'd just gone and called the police, um, it could have caused more damage down the track, you know. And they're still together; they're married, you know, and it's the most difficult thing when you're put into in the middle between fighting people fighting, and then asked to protect one of them. It's shocked me a little bit thinking about that, and because I had him telling me to go home, and he's big fella, you know, done kickboxing and everything, tough guy, but friendly, super friendly, intimidating though. Like he would destroy anyone if he really wanted to be violent. Um, and I trusted him when he said he's not going to do anything. He said, "Look, just go home now," and I felt like I had failed her. And I saw the look on her face. It was like, "Oh, you're leaving, don't." And I said, "Look," he said, "Oh, this is just, yeah, it's too much." Nothing happened. They calmed down, and it was just an argument. But it's scary. Emmon Bell's what you just said, like that just really brought up. Um, in your situation now, Em and Bells, I hope that nothing does happen, and that maybe what you did was, when you did have to call the police, and I was right at the point where I had to, and I said, look, I said to him, I said, I need, should I call the police right now? I've got no choice. And he just said, no, don't do that. Just go home. I'm not, nothing's going to happen. There was no sign that there was any physical argument. I didn't hear them arguing at all. It's such a difficult thing. What do you do? Like, you don't even know what to do. But you obviously heard a serious, like, for you to call the police, there was a full-on argument going on. Um, try not, Em and Bells, try not to worry about it. And if he did anything towards you, he'd be in big trouble now. So try not to live in fear of this. But your neighbor was beating up his wife, so it's not like it was threat. Like, what I talked about was just an argument and fear of it getting worse. Whereas this was actual violence was already happening. Michaela says, when I was in college, we studied Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. I'll write that down. That's interesting. Um, Six Sense, yeah, listening along, not very jokey at the moment. Yeah, that's all right. Either yourself, you don't feel like making jokes, or it's we're not making jokes at the moment. Either way, that's all cool. Like, we're having an interesting conversation, which is, it's always good when it happens. But Emma Bell, yeah, says, sorry, it's not a funny topic, but I don't want to see him in the basement. No, it is serious, and it's okay to ask for this stuff because people may have experiences where they can give you advice. Sky says, yeah, but EQ is far more important. Sky says, that's not cool, Em. MJG says, oh, that's awful scary, but police don't tell who's calling. Hopefully not. Unfortunately, like, the person can, like, guess, like, oh, it must have been this person, and they single you out. Evan Bell says, yeah, the police ring at my door same time as his. Yeah, see, that can be a giveaway too. Then they know it's you. It's the door in front of me, maybe 1.5 meters. I was shocked because I thought they wouldn't tell. MJG says, wow. MJG says, maybe they got a couple of doors to ask bells. Yeah, true. That could be part of it. As part of the actual mandatory thing is they actually don't just knock on the one door, they knock on a few and ask the neighbors as well. Evan Bell says, Luke, it wasn't logical. I heard a boom twice on my door, ran and saw through the spy on how he beated her. Well, that's so you actually saw it. MJG says, yes, very good of you to pick up the phone, Bells. You did the right thing. M. Bells says, yeah, then I opened the door and screamed, hey. She escaped and disappeared in his flat. Wow. This is, yeah. Sky says, it's so sad. The pain can cause more pain. This is a wake-up call for me. Yeah, that's scary. Sixth Sense Amelia says, good night, Luke and community. It's late here now. See you all next time. Thanks for being here, Sixth Sense. It's been really nice having you here, and hopefully, we'll see you at the next one. Sky says, by 6, hope you have a good sleep. Yeah, that's it. MJG says, by 6, see you next time. MJG has got the heart. Sleep well. Sky says, I'm going to go soon. I'm going to go too soon. I hope you have a good day, and everyone. Good day and night, everyone. Sky says, thanks for the chat, Michaela. Em Bell says, thanks, Luke, and everyone. Sky says, yeah, my thoughts are with you, Em. Yeah, that's some heavy stuff you got going on there, Em Bells. Because it's so close to home, like but really, in a sense, like this person can't do a thing. If they do one thing, they're in big trouble. So hopefully you can not fear that something's going to happen. Hopefully you can just rest assured that you did the right thing anyway. You did the right thing. And, it made me feel guilty about that experience I had when I was told to leave and I left and I didn't call the police. And I'm lucky that it turned out that nothing happened. So if something did happen after that, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself after that because. But he did assure me. He said, "Look, nothing's going to happen. If you leave now," I can't remember exactly what he said. He said, "Just leave now. Nothing's going to happen." And I just felt like I'd betrayed the woman because she asked for help. But I didn't leave them. I stayed within a few meters of their house, listening for a couple of hours. And if I heard the slightest sound, I was going to call the police. But what you saw violence going on, and that's different. Thankfully, she came back to me and said, "Thank you." Nothing happened. Such a difficult thing. You can escalate a situation by calling the police. Um, but if the situation's already happening, you have to call the police. So what? You got no choice at that point. MJG says, by 6, see you next time. Sleep well. Sky says, I'm going to go soon too. I'm going to go too soon. I hope you have a good day, night, everyone. Sky says, thanks for the chat, Michaela. M Bell says, thanks, Luke and everyone. Sky says, my thoughts are with you, M. M Bell says, thank you, Sky. What do you do in those situations? You did the right thing, M and Bells. Like you saw violence going on, you had to report it straight away. Hopefully they come to you and say thank you for both people, you know. Anyway, um, it's been a nice chat tonight. We talked about nature, we talked about books, we talked about um, jokes. Had a few jokes. Um, we talked about some serious stuff. So I'm a little bit like, I won't say triggered, but I'm just like, it brought up like this situation where I felt like I'd betrayed my friend who asked for help. But her husband assured me, he said, nothing's going to happen, go home now. And so I took that as I trusted him and nothing happened. But yeah, Em and Bell's like, you know, I feel for you. This is like a tough situation. I hope you don't live in fear over this. MJG said, oh no, Sky says, yeah, my thoughts are with you. M Bell says, thank you, Sky. MJG says, bye, Sky, sleep well. I think in time it'll just ease. I hope. It must be. It's frightening. It's obviously frightening for you. Um, One way to look at it is like this guy was attacking, being abusive, violent towards his partner. So he has no grounds at all to attack you over this. So you shouldn't feel afraid of him. That doesn't mean you're not going to be afraid of it. It's a difficult situation. I can't give any real advice, especially in something like this where, like, um, if you were to try and communicate with this person, it could make it worse. But maybe communicating with this person could actually clear it up, and then you could just not have to worry at all. But I don't know the intricacies of this situation, whether this person's getting prosecuted for domestic violence or whether nothing's happening, or I don't know. They must have taken a lot of courage to open the door up and, like, yell out. You put yourself in harm's way there. I don't know. That's something that's not in this. It's not something that's in this book. It should be in this book. Mental health, first aid. It should be a chapter in here. Domestic violence, because a lot of cases with domestic violence is mental health issues. So I'm gonna email them and tell them they need to add another chapter to the book. Because it's pretty similar to domestic violence is similar to psychosis or whatever. So I think this should be in this book. But thanks everyone for tonight. It's been nice. We had a great chat. I'm sorry I couldn't come up with any jokes, um, but I was excited to tell you all about the books I'm reading. And I um, as I complete the next few, I'm going to start doing solid book reviews on all the books. So I'll have like 20-minute, half-hour videos where I break down the book and I break down into chapters, and my thoughts of how useful it is for self-healing journey. I'll make that a priority, is how well it works for um, giving you practical things that you can do to, and also educate. So how well it teaches you the topic, and how good the exercises are for you to practically use. So Em and Bells, I just hope you don't stress too much over this. Um, you did the right thing. This is just has made me feel uncomfortable in a way that I had to revisit a situation, and I I feel like I did the right thing, but at the time I felt like I did the wrong thing because I felt like I abandoned this woman, but I didn't. I stayed within meters of the place. I I'm just so thankful that it turned out that I the guy said, "I'm not going to do anything. Go home now," and he didn't do anything. Um, Thanks to everyone for being here. It's been a we have had a lovely chat tonight, and that last stream I did was therapeutic for me. I'm sorry if it was, don't watch it if you're triggered by stuff. The next, there's not going to be many streams for a while that have got they are going to have content warnings. Um, it was important for me to do that one, and Emin Bell says, "Yeah, I just didn't have anyone to talk to about it. I'm so sorry." No, don't be sorry at all, Emin Bells. I'm glad to be here for you. That's what it's all about. Like, I emailed a friend of mine the other night, and I felt bad about it. And I said the same thing. I said I got no one to talk to about this. And then I felt bad for sending this email, and then I realized that it was fine. Like I was just worried, but we're here to listen. We're here to help. That's the main thing. And don't feel like it's very important to talk about these topics. That's why, like, I've written it down. I'm gonna email. This should be a chapter in this book. There should be a chapter of how to deal with domestic violence because it's a mental health issue. It shouldn't be in where else should it be? It should be in this. Don't feel sorry at all, Lemon Bells. I'm glad that you asked, and that's courage right there. What you did to get in there and like even something like that's just enough to like a wake up call for them. This guy must be like, oh, he can't keep doing those things because he's going to get in trouble for it. And he can't go if he goes over the line. Like if he does hurt her, and it'll be seen, and it could be the thing to just fix it because not all domestic violence is a perpetual thing that keeps going. That it can be an exacerbation of a situation, and it's one off or occasional. It's not like this constant thing. That's hopefully the case here, that it's not like, but you don't know. That's why you need to ask the questions. So if you can speak to the woman separately and ask her personally and just say, look, what's going on here? Do I need to be worried, or are you okay? Like, is there any need for intervention, or can we just um, I I don't have much experience with dealing with this sort of conflict, and Emma Bell says But maybe Fabi Rommel, an introvert comedian. There we go. That's you brought up that as a option for, like, instead of a joke, there's someone to look up. I'm writing it down. MJG says, yeah, no, sorry, look, sorry, M. It's good to no, sorry, M. Seriously, it's good to express here. That's it. You're welcome to do that. We appreciate it. You're in a difficult situation. Yeah, you don't want to make things worse, but you had a lot of courage to just do that, open that door. That's you were fearless in that moment. But don't be fearful now. You know, if you can somehow get a resolution from her or him, that'll be good. It's been a nice Sunday evening chat. It's good we're all able to catch up, and I look forward to the next one next Sunday. So MJG, big hugs back at you. I'm going to try and be productive this week, you know. So next Sunday, you'll hopefully hear me say, oh, I did this, and I did this, and I did this, and I did this. I'm going to finish reading this book. I'm going to finish reading this book. They're only short books, so I should be able to do it. And I might have this first aid book read. So my target is to read these 3 books. And I look forward to seeing you all next Sunday, if not earlier. And, you know, everyone have an awesome week. Evan Bell says, thank you for the stream, Luke, and everyone else too. Have a lovely Sunday. Thank you. Yeah. It's been nice, you know. I wish I could come up with a few jokes myself. I couldn't think of any jokes to say, so. But that was great how it started, so. Next Sunday, see you then. If not before. Much love to everyone.